I am here today to talk about this question that's been coming up for so many people, and it's frustrating. People are frustrated because they feel like they've been doing everything, they've been eating right, they've been exercising, they've been working on their sleep, they're taking their medications, and they still can't lose weight. Okay, they still can't lose weight, and they're just super frustrated with that. And it might have been maybe it's 2 months, 3 months, and there seems to be zero movement in the right direction on the scale. And so, what I wanted to talk about today, and I want to kind of keep it so that it's not too long. So, I want to sort of hone in on the things that need to be addressed, but this honestly could be probably a 4-part series. There's so many things to look into. But let's say you are someone who has a thyroid diagnosis, something, whether it be Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, maybe it's kind of mainstream hypothyroidism. And I'll probably assume that you're on a synthroid medication, like a synthroid, or it's a T4 medication, as I was trying to say, like a synthroid or a levothyroxine, which is the generic form. Some people might be on something like a natural desiccated, which is going to be something like Armor or NP thyroid. So let's say you go to your endocrinologist and you get on those medications and they do your lab work and they see that your TSH is now down into a normal range or a better range, and they maybe do a T4 lab, and they see that that's in the normal range too. So they just, go on, and you're supposed to come back a year later and figure out, what to do. Just exercise more, just eat right. Some very general recommendations are given to that. But let me tell you, being treated for a thyroid condition is a lot more than those two things that I just said. Okay. There's a lot more to it in order to optimize your symptoms so that you can feel and function much, much better, including your ability to lose weight, build muscle, change your body composition, and all those kinds of things, all the things that we're looking for. Now, I talk to people regularly who are struggling with this. They're very frustrated. And what needs to be done is looking at, the full thyroid panel. And I know in my own experience, and it's only been because of cancer where I've gotten a remotely expanded thyroid panel, but most people don't get that at all. And so you have to take it into your own hands. You have to find a functional practitioner who will order an expanded panel, or you have to order that yourself. And I can help you access that. So you would order it yourself, pay for it, and then bring it to a lab to get your results, and then bring that to whoever you're working with. But the key then, of course, is to have someone who knows how to interpret those things. Now, a lot of times people need another medication that's a T3 medication. That was a game changer for me and the majority of people that I work with. Once they get on a T3 medication, they seem to start having that energy. Their metabolism starts to boost up and things start to roll in the right place, even without extreme measures taking to their nutrition and their exercise. But let me just say that just because you get on the right medication doesn't mean that everything will, work out with regard to the number on the scale or your body composition. You have to put in the work, and food matters. Food will matter all the time. I always say you can't out supplement a poor diet, and you can't out medicate a poor diet either. So those things need to be in check. But there's other things, especially if you are a woman who is in that perimenopausal time frame. And you know what? It's not always what you think. Sometimes perimenopausal symptoms start happening a lot sooner because of, whether the birth control has been used for a lot of years or poor food choices, just a lot of stress in our lives. All that plays into our hormone balance. And if you are dealing with some of that, you need to work with someone who can help you balance out your hormones, not only your thyroid hormones, but your progesterone, estrogen, and sometimes even the testosterone. We see a lot of women with really low testosterone. And if you have low testosterone, you're going to have low energy. You're going to struggle with muscle and building muscle to help your metabolism. And therefore, it's going to be really hard to lose weight. So those are things that need to be addressed. And again, sometimes it's hard to find someone who will prescribe those medications for people, for women, without understanding the ramifications and how it all ties together. So those are some missing pieces of what might be causing your issues, even though you're doing everything that you know to do and it's not working. And then you beat yourself up, you feel defeated. And then honestly, I think for myself too, I think this starts is where it starts a spiraling into trying all the latest and greatest quick fixes. It maybe makes us scared to eat certain foods, or maybe we start to overeat. Can kind of start that whole binging cycle and mindless eating, which sets us up for worse things down the road, right? So, looking into what you can do, and if you want me to help you determine that, I can absolutely do that. And kind of figure out where to go from there. Because if you don't get this stuff in check, then it's going to be really hard and you're just kicking the can down the road and not actually getting anywhere. And then you'll get to the point where you're just flat out and just not well at all. Some of the other things, once you have your medications in check, once you're dealing with self-care, lifestyle, movement or exercise, whatever that looks like for you, there are still some things that need to be addressed. And a lot of times that is looking at insulin sensitivity, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes. If you already have been diagnosed with type 2, then you have something to work with. But there are markers that I have noticed are not done routinely that could give a much better picture about how well your interaction between glucose and insulin is in your body and how well that works. And so some of the common lab markers that could be addressed on top of a regular metabolic panel and a CBC, those are standard labs that doctors draw. But there's an A1C that is not routinely drawn for everybody. There's a fasting insulin that is not drawn. And there are things like SHBG, which is called sex hormone binding globulin. And if that's elevated, that means that, it's kind of like an inert storage marker of hormones that are not getting to your tissues and not helping you feel better. And so on top of the thyroid panel and looking at your hormone panel, we need to look at some of these markers for insulin and glucose sensitivity, or I'm sorry, insulin sensitivity as it relates to your glucose levels. Because so many times we see a fasting glucose and it'll be 89, which is in the normal range, or 92. It's in the normal range. Usually it goes up to about 100, so 75 to 100. And so nothing is done about that, but you may have symptoms that totally coincide with insulin insensitivity, but they don't look at any other markers beyond that. And so you don't really know. And so what we can do a lot with food. We can do a lot with behaviors around food. We can do a lot with nutrient deficiencies, something I talk about all the time. But until those numbers are in check, it's going to be really, really hard to lose weight. It's going to be hard to get your energy back. So we have to look at everything together. We can't compartmentalize everything. On occasion, people start taking, for example, thyroid medications, and boom, they lose weight and they feel great. That happens. I saw that when I was dealing with my things and really, really struggling. And, it happened on occasion, but it's not actually common. That's more of an outlying thing, but that's the stuff you hear about. And then you think that that's just supposed to be easy and how it's supposed to be for everybody. And that is absolutely not the case. The reality of it is that you are struggling. If you are struggling and you're not getting the right medications, or you're not really balancing your hormones. And let me tell you, the standard lab values, it seems like almost everybody's in the normal range. So you'll be told that nothing is wrong with you, but we can look at things from a more functional perspective and see, how can you actually optimize things to feel your best. That is the difference. So, you can show me your labs and we can go through labs and we can look at things and I can give you guidance on how to optimize yourself, using supplements, talking to your doctor about medication, getting the right hormones and that kind of thing that we can all work through. But you have to know the numbers. You have to know that everything works together and affects the next thing. Your testosterone level can affect your T3 level. There's just all these things that go together. But if you don't know, you don't know. And why would most of anybody in this group or in this audience know that unless they're working with it or unless they've had an ongoing issue where they're dealing with their labs all the time. So that's where you need to help yourself by, aligning with a right person. And that person could be me. I could very much help you out. I do this all the time, working with people with their labs, helping to optimize things nutritionally, and helping support that conversation with your doctor to get the right stuff. So like I said, this could go on, and I want to kind of keep it short and concise. So I'll just summarize. If you feel like you've done everything and you're still struggling to lose weight, you're still struggling to get the energy back, you've been told your labs are normal, you need to have a full panel of your thyroid done. You need to have a full panel for your hormones, the estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. You need to have a full panel or all the markers that look at your glucose and your insulin sensitivity. And you need to put all those pieces together so that you can get yourself the best protocol to help to overcome your frustrating and symptoms and your fatigue and your inability to lose weight or build muscle or whatever it is that you're looking for. And I can help you do all of that. I can help you, point you in the right direction, get you to where you want to go. All right. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's shed a little bit of light. I don't want you to feel bad about your situation because I know it's defeating and it's frustrating. But just know that I've been there. A lot of people that I work with have been there. That's who comes to me. And we figure this stuff out together. And you can, with your effort and with your, you got to have perseverance. That's the thing, and patience. We can get this working for you in the right direction. All right. So reach out to me. You can reach out at Tiffany@rockbottomwellness.com. You could comment under this video. You could reach out to me in social media, Instagram at Tiffany Flayton Health, Rock Bottom Wellness on Facebook. You can reach out to me any possible way, and we can get you feeling better as soon as you're ready and willing to do the work. All right. Have an awesome week, and I'll be back next time with some more information, probably a part 2 on this.